Right, everyone, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time of day it is when you see this. So I'm here to announce that I'm doing a little something for Danny Watson over at High Street Tackle at Ilfracombe. Danny's ultimate tackle stockist and one of the favourite things that I've ever had in lure fishing. One of the best lures I've ever used, so versatile, such a confidence lure for me, is a Megabass Spindleworm, pictured here, which is really cool. So I've been talking to Danny for quite some time about doing a School of Bass mixed combo, shall we say, because I generally tend to use the same sort of colours. I will flip from colour to colour, I will try new things, but my staple, my confidence, my absolute belief in a spindleworm comes from fishing things that I believe in. And for me, that is these three patterns. So you've got from top to bottom, bluegill, IU and wakasagi. So for me, they all offer something slightly different. The bluegill is a really solid colour, massively underrated, probably my favourite of the three, although that does change. And then the IU, great goby blenny representation, really solid colour, a good all-rounder, can be fished in many different ways. Wakasagi, clear blue skies, clear water, fine down a little bit. That is a sand eel all day long. It's subtle, but it's still got that mega action. And I like to rig them like this. So top, you've got a bluegill. Oh, it doesn't pick it up very well. Got a bluegill. And this is a Decoy Violence 3.0 11-gram head. Now, I like to fish these quite close to the deck, the bluegill, in the main. So what you do is you just hook that on there like that, hook it through the nose facing downwards, slide the lure all the way around, and you can see there's a hinge in a spindleworm. You don't want your hook to go past that hinge because that's where a lot of the action comes from. So slide the nose up nice and tight up to the head like that. That's how you get that on there. Don't hook too much on, and then mark with your thumb where the bend is and just go up through there. You can, if you want to, add a little bit of glue on there in between the head and the jig head there. Pop a little bit of glue on, keeps it all in one place. And the reason for the heavier jig heads is obviously to get it to the bottom. You might need more weight. I fish, pretty shallow stuff, but a spindleworm fishes really well on the drop. So a nice heavy nose weight with a forward toe in eye like that, and you just want to lift it up, let it hit a rock, pitch it up, and then let it drop back down, on a tight line, and so many of your hits will come on the drop. And then the second way is to fish it with a belly weighted hook. These are HTO, this is a 3.0. I think the pack's going to come with a 4.0. Either or works for me. The weight is the same. This is a 3.5 gram belly weight. Now this is for fishing on the deck for me with this particular colour in very shallow water or surrounded by bubbleweed. And you just screw that little spiral, that little keeper into the nose, into the centre of the nose of your spindleworm. These are great hooks, super sharp, super strong. I've been using them for a long time. And then once that's hanging in there like that, facing upwards with the eye of the keeper nice and level across the front of your spindleworm, you mark with your finger where you want it to come through, in, up, done. That is your bluegills rigged and ready to go. Obviously feel free to experiment with different weights and rigging options, but this is what's going to be in your School of Bass specific spindleworm pack. Secondly, we have got the IU colour, as you can see there. So I do like to fish these on the deck. I also like to fish them weightless. So I am going to start this one with a 7 gram 3.0 Decoy Violence jig head, and same thing, just go in through the nose, maybe 7 or 8 mil, something like that. Push that all the way up there like that. So you've got the jig head there and it's on. Mark with your thumb where you want the hook to come through, in through the bottom, out through the top. It's a really nice little slot there for the hook to sit in. Keeps everything nice and weedless, and when the bass grabs it, boom, hook point's exposed, game on. So the IU is a really nice colour. It's super versatile, probably the most versatile of the bunch in my opinion, just my opinion. And I like to fish these on the drop. I like to fish these in and around bubbleweed. I like to fish them super slow around the edges of where rock meets sand. They are absolutely mega. And I also like to fish these with minimal movement, specifically in and around the boulders. So I'll get my IU Spindleworm there. These are the 5-inch, by the way. I have got a bunch of 4-inch, but to be honest, these are the ones that I've always used most. Get my HTO twist lock. This is a 4.0 HTO twist lock hook. Super strong, super sharp, really good value. I'm sponsored by HTO, so obviously these are the hooks I'm going to use, but to be honest, I used them before I was sponsored. They've never let me down. Really, really good hooks and a great option. So you screw, it's got a little locator on there, and you screw into the center of the nose of the bait. It's really easy, and just rotate it like this. And then the little eye on the front, just make sure that's horizontal across the nose of the bait. The hook's hanging free there at the moment. And then you just mark with your thumb where the bend is going to come through like this. Up through the bottom, out through the top. Job done. Weightless. When you're fishing a weightless spindleworm, do as little as you possibly can. As little as you possibly can with it. Let it swing, let it drift around. There's loads of movement in these things. They've got the hinge in the middle. They've got the ribs on the front like the X-layers have. The paddle on it, it just vibrates, it rolls, it's all over the shop. And when it's weightless, the roll is really pronounced as well. It really does kick around. When you're fishing them with a belly weight, it does give a bit more of a keel, a bit more of a bite to it. So if you find that you're fishing in a really strong lateral current, and your lure is spinning out or planing up, then this keel, this belly weight, will just give it a bit of bite. It'll just give it a hold and let the tail do all the work that it does. See the way it just hangs off. And then finally, so we've done bluegill, they're rigged like this. We've done IU, so we've got one on a decoy violence, we've got one on a weightless hook. And then for this pack specifically, we've got a Wakasagi. So the Wakasagi, as you can see, great colour. I think it was the first colour I ever used actually when I used the Spindleworm. I'm sure it was. Really, really translucent, pearly belly, amber top, sand eel. And we're going to have one on a weighted hook, a weighted belly hook. This again is a HTO twist lock. It's 3.5 grams. This is a 3.0, or you can use a 4.0. Any bigger than that and it won't fit. It'll go past the bend on the Spindleworm and it'll kill the action. So in the nose, like that. You can buy this pack pre-rigged from High Street Tackle. So it's literally the cost of the hooks if you were to buy them in the packs. It's literally the cost of the spindleworms. You get 6 spindleworms pre-rigged, ready to go, sorted as I've rigged them in this video, and the price is going to be on the link that I share with it. I think it's just under 24 quid, which is, you know, great. Really, really versatile set of lures for that. And you get 3 colours from 3 packs. You don't have to buy 3 different packs of colours at $13.99 or $14.99. You know, prices of things have gone up, so it's good to save money where you can, in my opinion. Choose what colour is your favourite, and then you could go buy a pack. Job done. That's what I love. So that's that one. Rigged up. Little belly weight on there. Now the reason I've got a belly weight on a Wakasagi, when in my opinion it's one of the greatest weedless, weightless lures there is twofold. One is for what I mentioned earlier, a little bit of bite. You want sometimes a keel just to hold a lure nice and steady, just to let it dig into the water a little bit so it doesn't roll out and come on top, mainly when you're fishing in fast current. Or you might just want to send it down a little bit. You know, if the sun's really bright, sometimes the fish will just hang a little bit lower. It depends where the bait are as well. And then we've got a weightless, weedless presentation for a Megabass Spindleworm in Wakasagi. This again is a HTO twist lock. This is a 4.0 again, and these are banging hooks. You get your little keeper on there. See a little spiral. It's got a little nose pin in the end. Straight into the nose. Screw it in. Just rotate the worm like so. Keep the eye nice and horizontal across the front. That's hanging free. You can see that it's lovely and vertical across the front of it. It's nice and in line. It's not going to twist up. And just bend it round. Make sure you're not stretching the lure or anything like that. And you just pop it in there. From the bottom, up through the top. Line it up with a hook slot that's naturally on the top of the lure already. It was designed to fish weedless. And you have one of the most deadly, subtle presentations you could have in lure fishing. I'll share the link with this video. You'll be able to pick up this School of Bass selected by me Spindleworm selection. You'll be able to get out fishing, fish them the way that I do, fish them in and around the weed, the rocks, the boulders, sand, wherever it is you may be, and you will catch fish. If you're scared of soft plastics, start with these.